Welcome to your weekly podcast that's more hostile than a corporate takeover on a cold Saturday morning.
Yay. Cold this morning.
It is very like minus 28 on the coldometer at my place this morning, which is
the patent pending
official coldometer.
Coldometer.
Yeah, it's old repurposed Rob the Robot.
Filled with mercury.
Filled with mercury. Mercury and hate. This is PodQuest. I am Player 3, Paul English, joined as always by...
Player 2, Kelsy Bolnick.
Player 1, Dustin Lyon.
And if you couldn't guess by my amazing cold open, it is due time we talk about a big rumor in the gaming industry. That rumor is...
Foreshadowed it last week. That is Xbox, Microsoft, more specifically, buying the rights and just the properties and the companies themselves of EA, Valve, PUBG producers, and what was the other one? There's one more, I thought. I think those are the big three.
Big three, yeah. Which is, we'll get into it probably in 45 minutes, but that's big news. But
not a lot of news this week. It'll be quick.
But before that, games, and more games. What games have you guys been gaming?
Let's start off this week.
I guess I can start off. Been a little under the weather the last couple of days here, but...
which can be good for gaming sometimes.
Which can be good for gaming.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually good yesterday. I played a lot of Monster Hunter this last week, and especially yesterday. So it is it's a pretty grindy game, but it's worth it. They all are. So, but it's stunning and beautiful, and I just finally got to the part of the game where they start making the harder version of the monsters.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, wow, they're just getting harder now? Oh, man, this is not going to be fun.
Like your kind of like second run through all the...
Yeah, kind of. But, well, what they do is, like, certain areas that you go into and stuff already have a certain set of creatures, and then once a part in the storyline finishes up, you find out that all the monsters are kind of invading other territories. So monsters that you don't typically see in an area start showing up in that area.
So when we played the demo, all the monsters we fought seemingly had a monster counterpart that would attack them if you did something.
Yeah.
Do all the monsters still have that? And
yes.
Do you fight those counterparts?
Well, what they do in the game is, if you end up fighting a monster, and you can end up luring it into another area where another one is, and sure enough, they will fight each other.
Now, the monster that you lure it into, will that eventually be its own specific boss battle?
New hunt?
Well, essentially, when you go into an area, you have a task that you're supposed to hunt down, say, this creature.
Yep.
Or go investigate this area, which then reveals something you have to go hunt.
Yep.
One example being, I was fighting it's called a puka. It's a weird chameleon-like bird that spits out poison. Mm-hmm. And I was fighting it, and I got into an area where a Rathian came in, which is the regular dragon of the Monster Hunter series. Mm-hmm. It came in, it started fighting with it, and then the Puka decided to start running away into another area. But then the Rathian looked at me and it's like, "It's on," and I'm like, "No, it's not on. I don't have time to deal with you right now," because you're also under a time limit every time you do these hunts.
I was just gonna ask that because the beta was all timed.
Yeah, normally, like when you do a mission, you have 30 minutes, you have 50 minutes to do this hunt.
Right.
Or if it's a capture, you have a certain amount of time to do stuff. So, been playing a bit of that, and then was playing some Dragon Ball Fighters yesterday.
Nice.
So I finally opened up the box to my special edition.
Yeah.
And put my Goku statue up. It looks really nice.
Nice. That's awesome.
What are your thoughts on that one so far?
I like it. Yeah. It's the storyline. Unfortunately, is just very play a match, play a match, play a match.
Typically known for their thrilling stories.
So I'm kind of trying to purposely try to get through as quickly as I can so I can unlock a character. Mm-hmm. But I like it. It's nice. A lot of people are saying like it's a good blend. Like if you like Smash Brothers and you're thinking about kind of going to Street Fighter, that's kind of the good in between. Because it's still easy to pick up. The controls are easy, but if you have fighting game experience, you'll do really well with this.
I'm excited to see what players have done with it by Evo.
Yeah.
And see which kind of characters come out on top. New techniques come out.
Yeah, I'm very curious.
Which will be kind of our hint towards our news breakdown this week.
I'm also very curious to see who we have crossing over from other games.
Yeah.
If we see Sonic Fox, if we see any of the Street Fighter guys or Smash Brothers crew.
going into Dragon Ball will be very interesting.
Yeah,
See what
which
happens with
players
that.
show up in the top.
Yeah.
What have you been playing this week?
Poof, nothing.
Nothing. Just watching TV.
Not even really that. Like, I've just kind of been...
No time between shoveling.
Yeah, exactly. Played like a little bit of Rainbow and had some good success going back up to silver. Played like 4 matches of PUBG, and I think I had 2 wins, like a 5th and an 8th, which is pretty good. And it was just in duos, high kill games. Yeah, that's like I haven't really been playing too much this week. It's been a slow week with the cold stuff. Been out doing stuff with other people, so
Right.
played some Double Dragon 4.
Yeah, we'll have that video up soon.
Yeah, which was a lot of fun. Me and Kelsy played co-op through it. He ordered it special because they just did a physical release of it.
Limited run, yep.
Yeah, lots of fun. Video is going to be, I think, a lot of fun to watch.
Hopefully.
We'll be doing some more Double Dragon, I think, in the near future as well, so stay tuned for that. Kelsey?
I watched Altered Carbon this week.
Yeah.
Started some Star Wars Rebels, and
Nice.
been wanting to dig into a good RPG again lately, so I started Ni no Kuni last week,
Oh, wow.
and I'm about 10 hours into Ni no Kuni, and I think I can have it done before number 2 comes out, which is the
Because
plan.
that's pretty soon, isn't
It's
it?
in March sometime. I
Yeah.
can't remember which day, but yeah, next month.
Oh.
Yeah, because I think there was a story out this week that said something that Ni no Kuni 2 is going to be 40 hours plus extra side quest stuff. Or
Which is
even
good.
after end game stuff. So
Pretty typical for a role-playing game. I'm really liking it so far. It's a slow start, but I'm kind of at that point where the whole game's opening up and I can have a lot more options where I want to go, what I want to do.
that's kind of how I feel with Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Like I've gotten to the point where I can start doing more. So
So hopefully
kind
next
of
week.
kind of my own RPG that I've started.
Yeah, I'd call it an RPG. Yeah. So hopefully next week I'll have more to talk about on it because I'm just starting to really dig into the meat. It feels like.
Cool.
I had something to... Oh, yeah. You keep asking me about Star Wars. So it's been a couple weeks since I jumped back on it.
Mm-hmm.
I went to jump on it last night.
This is Battlefront.
Battlefront 2.
Okay.
My computer uninstalled it.
What?
I don't even know how. So my buddy was like, yeah, I'm on Star Wars. Like, let's play a couple matches. I'm like, yeah, sure.
Just reject.
So I jump on. I was assuming that I was going to have to download an update, because you normally do if you leave a newer game for that long.
Yeah.
Jump on it, and it's download. I'm like, okay. And I look, 64 point something gigs. And I was like, that's not
And
an update.
you're only at 1 gig so far.
And I was like, this is like, I have to re-download the entire game. So I looked through my entire computer. I was like, yeah, my computer uninstalled it for some...
So your computer just completely rejected it from its
Yeah.
own system.
Which is really, really strange.
Get a smart computer.
Yeah, I guess. I trained it well. But yeah, Altered Carbon. Have you watched any Altered Carbon yet, Dustin?
No, it's been sitting on Netflix, but I had some other stuff on Netflix and stuff pop up that I was watching. I'm a big fan of the Fate anime series.
Yeah, you were talking
So they
about that
have
last week.
Fate, and I'm gonna get this name wrong, Apocryptica. The name is really hard to say, but they just finally released part 2 on Netflix, and I haven't finished part 2 yet, so I'm quite excited to finish watching that first.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like the Fate series. This one's really cool because it's a complete like side story, alternate universe. If events happen in a certain way, the main Fate anime never happened. So I'm quite interested to see what happens here.
That's good. I mean,
But Altered Carbon is on my list though.
me and Kelsey have been burning through Altered Carbon. He finished it, and I'm 1 episode away from finishing it. I quite enjoy it because I like that genre. Like, I'm a Blade Runner is my favorite movie ever made. I like animes like that, like Ghost in the Shell, Akira, so forth. The different sci-fi movies. I think the show's really interesting. Looks really good. It does have its problems. I feel Kelsey's
Yes, it
probably
does.
on the same, but a little bit more critical than I am. But Kelsey had a lot of hype. He had a
Yeah.
lot of hype going into this show. I had none. So
I love a lot of ideas and concepts in the show, but it's overall like my worst complaint is it's just boring. Like there's very little.
So go watch it
interest-
now.
I would say you don't need to watch it. I say you could skip it even. I have so many issues with the show that I want someone to like remake it already because there's so many cool concepts in this that I want to see done better than the show did them.
there are a lot of cool concepts. I don't find it as boring. It has a lot of interesting stuff. Like, to me, it's your kind of typical science fiction show.
Like, it's too typical. Like, it hits every cliche. It's very
Yes,
predictable.
it is very predictable,
Yeah.
very cliche. But you don't get a lot of shows like that.
No, so I feel like the ones we do get are typically higher quality because they're so much harder to push
No,
through.
sci-fi shows, like actual shows,
Maybe
they are
like
not of
production
higher quality. Yeah,
but writing quality, I would say.
I'd even say it's very like Battlestar was up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's not a lot of shows that really hit that benchmark for science fiction shows.
I don't feel like this hit any benchmark at all
Yeah.
for me.
You're also, I feel, overly critical about a lot of things, especially TV.
There's so much good stuff now. I feel like you can be finally.
Not on Netflix. I feel Netflix.
I
is
just mean in general.
yeah.
I mean everywhere. There's good shows coming at you from every angle now, and way more sci-fi coming out than ever before. So I feel like
I
we
don't
can
think
be
there's a lot of
pickier.
sci-fi of that.
There's
genre,
more than
like
there
that
has
genre.
been in the past.
Yeah,
It's
I
still
can
not a
agree
like,
to that.
major genre, but it is. It's way
There
more
has
than we had
been a
in the
big
80s and 90s.
there has been a big boom of sci-fi and even like superhero stuff.
Superhero stuff definitely, but like real sci-fi, I feel the booms in the 2000s, like Andromeda, Stargate, Battlestar.
I'm
like, we
thinking
had
movies too, not just TV.
Yeah,
where you're getting
there's-
stuff like Interstellar and what was one with Matt Damon on Mars.
Last Martian.
Last Martian.
Yeah, you're getting like big movies now that
Big
are, that are
budgets.
sci-fi stuff and doing well.
Yeah, I also
Interesting
feel-
little fact. Because we were talking about stuff, I was rewatching Thor Ragnarok this week,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
and you remember this in the one scene towards the beginning where they have Odin's watching the play on how Loki died.
Yeah.
It's Matt Damon.
Yeah, it's Matt
Matt
Damon.
Damon, yeah.
Matt Damon's Loki.
Did you see who Thor was?
No, I couldn't recognize who he was.
It's Thor's brother.
Yeah.
In real life.
Oh, okay. I was sitting there looking at going, that has to be somebody famous for some reason, because they wouldn't just put Matt Damon there and be the only guy.
And Sam Neill's in it again.
Yeah,
isn't
that's
he?
right. He's Odin. I
Yeah,
think, in
Sam
that
Neill's
play.
Odin
Yeah.
again.
Right. So they actually get actual Hollywood actors and Chris Hemsworth's brother.
I think he's a Hollywood actor too. I think he's got like
Yeah,
two
he
brothers
is.
and they all do movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just funny. So I was rewatching that this week. So
Yeah, I need
that
to
was
rewatch
funny.
that. It's a good movie. I was rewatching Ghost in the Shell.
I was going to ask you about that. The
Um,
movie, like the newer one.
Yeah.
How is it?
I like it because the movie looks really good. A lot of its criticisms came from whitewashing it.
Mm-hmm.
Which the creator came out against a bunch of times, saying
Yeah.
like that doesn't matter. That's how I designed the character to be anyone.
Yeah, exactly. And they also kind of explain it in the movie a bit. I don't want to spoil it for you, but
So this Ghost in the Shell, is it like very much the same as like the first animated
Yes.
Ghost in the Shell movie,
It
like
takes-
almost scene for scene?
there's like scene for scene stuff ripped right from it, and they did a good job on it. It looks fantastic.
I remember in the previews that scene in the water.
Yes.
Yeah, it looked just like I remembered. I started the movie and I had kids going on and lunch and stuff, and it was too busy to pay attention, so I turned it off. And I'm gonna come back and watch it later when I can actually focus on it.
Yeah, like I said, like that's right up my alley for that genre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the one I'm going to watch tonight.
Yeah, I really, really like that movie. It's not my favorite of that genre, but it's,
It's
some
one of
I
those
can turn my
shining stars of like the '80s though. When you're
Yeah.
thinking back to that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
I can turn my brain. It's a turn your brain off and enjoy it science fiction movie.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to think about the concepts. If I want to watch the anime, I feel I have to be more invested in, even though I've seen it a million times. So-
I love Standalone Complex.
Yeah.
That one in the second season were awesome.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's a good series. You should I'd watch a marathon of both Blade Runner movies, Ghost in the Shell. I'd put it in there.
like you said, that sci-fi era.
Yeah.
Maybe
you
throw in a little Fifth Element just
Yeah.
to put a little cherry on top.
Yeah, exactly. It all kind of fits within the same world. So
I've actually been wanting to rewatch that too.
I watched
I
that.
haven't
a couple
watched it
weeks
in a
ago.
while.
I did a couple months ago.
All right, well, let's get into our news breakdown for this week. So, why don't we start off with our ongoing story the last couple weeks here, I guess. Billy Mitchell is breaking the silence about his Donkey Kong high score controversy. So
He broke the silence, but he didn't really add anything to the
I didn't-
conversation.
I didn't really see anything about it, but
Him breaking the silence was him being like,
He didn't defend himself.
No.
He didn't talk
just
about
convoluted it
like
more.
when Todd Rogers got accused, he made this big statement about how he was happy Twin Galaxies was breaking down on cheaters, but he didn't feel like he deserved to be targeted.
he still defends
Yeah.
his
Billy Mitchell
record.
didn't go either way on that. He just kind of said like, I played it on the real hardware. What do you want me to do?
Well,
Twin
and then he-
Galaxies has the tapes.
He also shifted the blame onto Twin Galaxies
Mm-hmm.
and convoluted the accusations. He was like, well, If Twin Galaxies doesn't have the tape, then they've done something with it, implying that there's now a Twin Galaxies conspiracy against them. And not only does this shine light on Billy Mitchell, which a lot of people have been
skeptical of
for
decades even.
Yeah. It also really brings forth Twin Galaxies as kind of incompetent.
Yes. On multiple fronts now.
And not only kind of, extremely.
Yeah.
They don't have tapes, they don't have witnesses, they don't have proper records. And the newest one, like, a lot of that you can defend if it was recorded in the 80s or kind of even post like pre-1995. But Billy Mitchell's newest record on Donkey Kong was in 2010. Yeah, so there is no excuse that they don't have proper footage, witnesses, and documentation of him breaking this record.
Yeah.
There's just something I wanted to confirm if you guys want to see here, and I'll throw it up on the main video here. Yeah. You remember a while back, I think I mentioned maybe it was to Kelsey, I was talking about the cartoon series Regular Show.
You mentioned it last week on the podcast.
So here's a picture of Billy Mitchell, and here's the screenshot from.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I've seen that episode. I forgot about it until you
mentioned it. So it's just funny how like after I saw that, it was like, oh yeah, that definitely was a parody of him then. Yeah.
Does he have a milk mustache?
It's just his teeth.
He has no hands and feet. So.
Doesn't mean he can't drink milk.
Yeah.
The straw.
So just complete side note that I was confirming that was him.
Yeah, so. And then the guy who came out with the original story about the recordings being MAME instead of actual hardware did a rebuttal to Billy Mitchell, basically stating like, if this is a conspiracy, like this is how far-fetched it has to be. Like this has to span decades. This has to span multiple people. Like it's so unlikely.
The timing needs to be perfect.
Yeah, that this is a conspiracy that it's likely just cheating.
Yeah. And this is one of those things where, Twin Galaxies seems to have, I don't want to say a hard-on for Billy Mitchell, but they have a hard-on for Billy Mitchell. Like, they love him.
They have known to be, like, favor those people that grew up in the 80s, like the Todd Rogers and the Billy Mitchells, until they switched ownership, I want to say, like, 7 or 8 years ago.
Yep.
And they're trying to break that image, but there's still so many people involved that are from that era that it's hard to move away from
They
that,
love Billy Mitchell. Billy Mitchell's the face of Twin Galaxies in a lot of aspects. And I don't know if we'll ever get like a clear, like, you're not the guy anymore.
I wonder if like these, I don't know if there's no one bigger than Todd Rogers and Billy Mitchell to scapegoat, but if more people come out that have cheated records or proven to be cheaters, I wonder if Guinness will drop them at some point, saying like, you guys aren't a reliable source for records anymore. We have to find someone else to verify these, and they'll go to like Speed Demos Archive or something like that.
I think they're gonna have to redo like a lot of the Donkey Kong might be taken out of it.
I think it will be, yeah.
Or they might go to the next guy. Like it might be Steve Weeb or the surgeon.
Yeah, someone who's done the live show. There's a new Donkey Kong record holder. I think I found out since we talked last time.
Oh really?
Too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Twin Galaxies, for like the last 20 years, shouldn't have been giving Guinness any information. Guinness is known for really doing the research and getting everything kind of, like, spending the time and getting everything pretty accurate. So, yeah, I'm surprised they still have those guys.
Yeah, I don't think they will for much longer, at least by the end of the year is my feeling.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that we need to start practicing our Donkey Kong game.
Exactly. You could be number one, even if it's for like a week.
What we're saying is we need to start traveling around and taking records, and we can be the new Twin Galaxies.
Ooh.
The Triplet Galaxies.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, moving on. Evo 2018 announced their lineup of games for this year.
Which isn't a notable story by itself, but there's a big snub in there.
There are some big snubs. Yeah. So the games that they have coming up this year are Tekken 7, Smash Brothers 4, which is the newest one, Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition, Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, which is the new one that has the Ruby characters.
That's a really weird one because that doesn't even come out in North America until June.
Guilty Gear Xrd Rev 2. I haven't played that one, so I apologize if I mispronounced it.
No,
Injustice 2, Smash Brothers Melee, and Dragon Ball Fighters. So yeah, but you are right that there were some games that did get some snubs.
There's no Marvel vs. Capcom, which is the biggest one. That's crazy.
There's only one game made by Capcom on them.
Yes.
Which is huge.
They're typically, the fighting guys.
Yeah.
it feels like WB is trying to like take their throne.
Muscle in on them.
Actually, no, I don't think it's WB. I think it's
We got Injustice and
I'm trying to think and remember the name of the company the one who did Dragon Ball Fighters. Arc Systems.
Yeah.
They have three in
that's
there.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nintendo's got 2.
And they're 3 anime-esque products.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But as Kelsy was saying, though, it's interesting that they bring in the cross-tag battle when it's not even available yet. And there was something in here is like players maybe have like maybe a month or something to get ready with that game.
Well, the guys that are going to compete, they'll import early.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no Mortal Kombat on there,
Yeah, no Mortal Kombat.
which is weird. I guess Injustice took its place. We got a lot of DBZ, Injustice, Tekken 7 all came out within the last year.
I'm excited to see the DBZ and the cross-tag stuff.
Yeah, Cross-Tag looks really cool to me. I'm excited to see some. I still think it's a weird pick, though.
I'm always excited for Tekken.
Kind of side note story here, but I did see that the Blaze Blue cross tag battle, they had a little controversy. I think it was a week or 2 ago, where they had a number of characters that are coming out as paid DLC, and a lot of fans were not happy about that. So they came out. I think it was this week, and they confirmed that Blake and Yang from the Ruby series will come out as free DLC.
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of nice that they're actually saying, you know what, you're right. These are characters that you're supposed to have right off the bat. It's our fault that they're not. It's not our fault that they're not available yet. So when they're ready, we'll give them to you for free.
Ever since Street Fighter V came out, there's been so many growing pains with fighting games.
Oh, yeah.
And how they should adapt to the new.
Well,
modern
even
generation stuff.
before Street Fighter V, it was Killer Instinct that did that.
Yeah.
Because Killer Instinct had the paid
and there
DLC.
was there's another Capcom game. Was it Street Fighter Cross Tekken, where they had the DLC on the disc?
Yeah.
And they just like unlocked it for you if you paid for it. Like,
Yeah.
it's been going on for a while, but I think Street Fighter V was like the big spotlight.
I
'Cause
think
that launch
was
real messy.
it was real messy. The big spotlight for the paid DLC, though, I think was fighting characters was Killer Instinct, because that was huge. You had to buy a season pass.
seasons, right?
You only had like 2 characters if you didn't buy it. You were forced.
Oh yeah, I remember
to
that.
buy it.
I remember when
Yeah.
I had an Xbox One, because you could get Killer Instinct for free, and I'm like, oh cool, I could get it for
But
free.
you only be one.
But
character.
you'll only
Yeah,
have like
yeah.
2 characters. That's
Yeah.
it. So.
So yeah, that was really bad. It is what it is. It's Evo. It's gonna be some awesome fighting stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's some weird omissions, some weird snubs.
I wonder
But-
what they're gonna have for side events.
Because
Because last year
Yeah.
they had the Catherine tournament.
they typically do Catherine tournament. I think
Yeah.
they did Arms last year too,
Yeah.
and like they're pretty varied with the side events. They
Yeah.
just don't get as much spotlight as the
Does that
main course.
page by any chance have the venue of it?
I think it said it was in Vegas this year.
It's always in Vegas,
Let me
but
double check.
they did a MGM Grand. Was that last year or the year before?
I think that was last year.
Yeah, like a huge platform for it, which was really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be held August 3rd to 5th in Las Vegas at the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino.
Big one as well,
that's
yeah.
a big one as
And
well,
they it's all televised on ESPN too, if
Yeah.
I remember right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's not much to talk about there, but I am, because I'm very reserved after Dragon Ball Z Fighters came out. Like I watched more gameplay video of it, and it's not the type of fighting game I want. Like being a Street Fighter guy, like it looks like it's too much like Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really into that. I didn't like a lot of the mechanics that they had in it. So I kind of lost a little bit of interest. I didn't want to spend any money on it. But I'm waiting for Evo to see what kind of tech comes out, what some of the players come up with, some of the new techniques and stuff like that. And Evo usually gets me re-hyped for something. So I'm waiting for Evo to see if I have a newfound interest in it, and I'll probably buy it then.
I think what I've seen so far is that a lot of the competitive plays and stuff, it's more on character selection.
Yeah.
Because certain characters do really well against other ones, while then other characters don't do well against other characters, or just do
Matchup
average.
Specific. That could be interesting, because then you'd
Yeah.
have to master several characters instead
Yeah.
of 1 or 2.
Which makes me more interested in it again. Like stuff like that is like a little bit of strategy. But
Well,
then
Dustin's got it, so at one point we'll have to sit down
and
check
play
it
it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Could be fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it will be fun playing with like sitting down with the 3 of us,
Casual environment.
just playing it. But for me, as like a fighting game guy, to sit down and try to get good online, I don't think it's going to be something I'm really going to want to sink my teeth into. And
I imagine you
play.
do really well at it.
Oh, it's
If
not.
you have experience playing Street Fighter, I imagine you do really well at it.
Doing well and having fun with it, though, need to kind of go together. If he's doing well at it, but it's not his favorite style of game, then you just peter off after a while.
Okay. Moving on to news. I don't know if Kelsey watched it or not because he doesn't intend to, but you did.
It's not a movie I'm super hyped for. So
okay. New Deadpool 2 trailer called Meet Cable. I watched it twice and it was funny.
Yeah, it's
very much that Deadpool style of, we don't want to reveal too much information about the movie yet, but they did show some new scenes. But
I feel that one released a ton of information about it.
I guess that's true towards the end, the last 30 seconds, but I did like how they brought Cable in and like he was still wearing his green screen arm and then like Deadpool stopped. Was like, "Come on, guys, come on, get on that. We don't need to get rid of his mustache or anything." Nice little.
Is Colossus not in this movie again?
No, he is. Yeah, he
is.
is.
He? Okay.
Yeah.
Just
I think everybody from the original
Teenage Warhead something. Yeah.
Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
Thank you.
That's the one.
I believe everybody from the original movie is in this one, including the taxi driver.
Yeah, I saw him.
I'm excited to see what happens with him.
Deadpool was a movie for me where I really enjoyed it the first time, watched it the second time, and I knew all the jokes and stuff, so I didn't get nearly as much joy out of it.
Yeah.
And I don't have a lot of interest in this one. I'll probably watch it when it's on video instead of go to the theater kind of thing.
I'm going to the theater, baby.
I have interest to see this one just because I liked the first one so much on the first viewing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the same way as you on repeated viewings. It lost its shimmer. Wasn't as good. It's still a good movie. It's still a good property. I liked it better than the Logan movie that came out.
I don't agree with that.
See,
I didn't really like Logan.
I love Deadpool. I've watched it maybe 25 times. It has gotten to the point now where I've seen the jokes over and over, so I know they're coming. But I know there are the certain ones that I still love. Like
make you giggle a bit.
Yeah, like the fourth wall break and the fourth wall break. I love that joke.
Yeah,
I wasn't a big Deadpool guy going into
either
the
was
movie
I.
Either.
Yeah.
Like I knew who he was. I'd read a few of his books back in the day, but he wasn't a character that's ever spoken to me.
I'm still not a real big Deadpool fan. That's why I think Logan didn't hit all the right notes because I'm a bigger Wolverine fan.
Yeah, that story was. If you're comparing it to the books that they pulled stuff out of, like it didn't follow them very well at all.
And it was kind of messy.
Yeah.
Like I thought Logan was kind of garbage.
I liked X-23 in that movie though. She makes that movie for me. I thought she was really fun, interesting.
Yeah, but not good enough to make it a good movie. Anyways,
I'm not saying it's a great movie. I'm saying I liked it better than Deadpool.
I am excited about Deadpool. I'll go see it in the theater.
Yeah, I'll go see it in the theater too.
My wife might take me. She liked it more than me, the first one, so we might go watch it because of that.
Oh, wonderful date night.
We also
It was Valentine's Day last year.
Yeah.
Han Solo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We also got.
Oh yeah, because Super Bowl was last weekend.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of big trailers.
Yeah.
They didn't actually show much of Venom. That was like a teaser almost more than a trailer.
Yeah. But they did show. Looks like they're kind of sticking with the origin from the 90s animated movie where like the shuttle crashes and then that's where the symbiote comes from.
I wonder if it'll be JJ related again too with his son on the ship.
Yeah, maybe. I wonder if it'll have anything to do with Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's true.
I imagine they'll have to.
That's my biggest fear.
Maybe it'll be maybe it'll be a completely side story for now, and then they'll bring it back in later.
Because when this started, this was before all this merger stuff was going on.
The only thing that would make sense is if that won't even make sense. And the second, because the next Infinity War is coming so soon, as if Spider-Man gets the symbiote in these Infinity War movies,
Where's it in the next?
And then loses it, and then it's just like a
But then what's the point of letting Spider-Man use his Scarlet Spider outfit?
Oh, it's not a Scarlet Spider, it's his Iron Spider.
Or it's Iron Spider. Yeah. Sorry, different spider.
Because he uses it, and then because in the original origin of the symbiote suit, he's in Secret Wars and his suit's in tatters, and there's a machine that will give you anything you want.
Such a bad origin.
Yeah, it's so dumb. And he goes into the room, he's like, well, I guess I could use a new suit. And then like a black blob falls out, and he's like, well, I guess this is it. And he puts it on, but it was just hiding in the machine.
That was the original?
That's the origin of it.
It's really
not
bad.
He just gets a symbiote, and then, I'm tired of this, and then, in the church, ring the bell.
That still happens. But
that's not how the
That's how Eddie Brock
Spider-Man.
gets it. That's how Venom is born, is the bell tower.
But the symbiote arrived from the Secret Wars.
Yeah, in a machine. It was hiding in a machine, and then it just fell out.
That has no significance before or after that moment either.
That's weird.
Yeah.
But
and in that story, Spider-Woman was in her like black suit, which looks like the symbiote as well. So it was like super confusing. People were like, "Oh, maybe it's just to make Spider-Man look like her." So if they did it where Spider-Man's Iron Spider suit gets destroyed in Infinity War, and then he gets this new one, and it amplifies his powers, he's like, "Oh, this is way better." And then in the second one, he wears it. And then the third movie gets rid of it, and the second Spider-Man Homecoming movie leads into the beginning of this Venom movie.
It's messy.
I don't. No, maybe I don't know. I can't see them doing with them doing a separate Venom movie. I can't see them going the Venom route for Spider-Man, because look at the last Spider-Man trilogy. A lot of people hated number 3.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's because number 3 was a train wreck.
Yeah.
Still made a ton of money though.
So when soon as people start talking about the symbiote stuff, people are gonna be, "Oh, but you mean that old Spider-Man?"
People
love Venom.
Still love Venom. They want.
No, that's why I'm excited for this new one, because people were saying that the rumored was it was gonna be like more suspenseful, kind of like horror-esque.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's actually be interesting, because Venom would be that type of character.
Tom Hardy's a perfect Eddie Brock. He's a great Eddie Brock. So it's too bad, like, if Disney's not going to use this this Venom property going forward into the Spider-Man movies, it's a waste of Tom Hardy.
I think that's what's going to happen, and he doesn't seem like the type of actor that would sign like I want to be Venom for 5 movies kind of guy. He seems like a one and done, move on to the next project.
Well, if he's a Marvel fan, if he's a Spider-Man fan, which he's coming from that kind of age generation, he might be into it, but it's really hard to say, and it will be unfortunate if it just gets thrown in the waste bin.
Just seems like one of those guys that likes to really push himself as an actor.
Yeah.
And take challenging roles. So I can't see him picking a big summer blockbuster for like 5 movies when he can't do other cool stuff. Yeah. Like he loves working with Christopher Nolan too, so that might take him out of some Nolan movies for a few years, which he might not like.
Yeah. All right, and last story, we finally got a look at the Ninja Turtles in Injustice 2.
Yeah, they look great.
Yeah.
A little weird proportion, but I like the combat. It looked really, really like looked like they move in the first movie.
Yeah, it makes me want to get that game even more.
Yeah.
We've been talking about it for like 2 months now. And I really should probably pull the trigger on it. That or Tekken 7, but
one thing I noticed in the trailer, they kind of confirmed that it seems like all the turtles are actually their own separate character until you use their ultimate attack, which then they all come in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which their ultra is kind of lame. It makes sense because they don't have superpowers like a lot of the other guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
But like the pizza with the pepperoni sliding down the screen at the end.
I would have rather seen like their
like
little
that.
like delivery truck come in and shoot like the
bring the
sewer
party
plates.
wagon in. That'd be sweet. Yeah.
That would be sweet. Not much.
Other than that, I thought everything about their intro was great. They all seemed like completely separate fighting styles.
Mm-hmm.
They all had their own personality. I love the look. I love the fluidness of their movements. I'm like Paul said, I need to pick this up finally, I think.
But do you think they are going to be the last DLC for that game?
No.
No?
Been out for
Do you
a
think there's
while,
going to be
I don't
more?
know.
Because it came out in 2017, that game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's probably going to be
But
at least one more run of DLC.
This is like DLC Fighter Pack number 3 or something? Like the end of number 3?
So
I think we see how many views it gets at Evo, and if it's still pulling in numbers, they might.
I think
more
we'll
support
get.
behind
I
it.
think we'll get one more, because I think Mortal Kombat had 3 as well, and I think this game is doing really well. So
Well,
I
how
think-
many? Oh no, I was going to say how many did Injustice have? But they just did characters instead of character packs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, Mortal Kombat 10 really did the character packs. They did like Alien with a bunch of Mortal Kombat guys, Leatherface with a bunch of Mortal Kombat.
well, see,
guys,
they had a
Jason
theme though.
Voorhees.
They had a theme where they went more like the horror route.
Yeah.
While
They-
this one here was like, okay, we have somebody from Street Fighter, and now we have
They're pulling in all these like independent comics.
independent people.
Which is sweet. I don't know who else they could put into it, but
Spawn.
They've done some deep dives so
Deep
far.
dives.
Though, so
Because,
keep
like
going.
you said, it's almost like they're doing comic book-esque stuff.
I don't know if
so-
they get Spawn.
Todd McFarlane is, I think, going to be tighter with the Spawn control now that that movie's in production.
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, it'd be cool to song. I think
Likes money. That guy is
Yeah.
smart when it comes
Yep.
to Vistas. He's
Yep.
gonna, unless they pay him a ton of money for it.
Oh, his figures are pretty detailed.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was
Yeah.
it for news.
Yep.
So
We kind of breezed over Han Solo, which I feel is
Yeah.
appropriate. Though.
Yeah, I feel very inappropriate, but we didn't really give it any
I-
injustice.
I saw the trailer on it, but I'd rather wait for some more info to come out before I talk about it.
the trailer, because I knew the trailer was coming out, and when I watched the trailer, I just turned my brain off and was like, let's pretend this movie isn't called Han Solo and the Millennium Falcon's in it. And I was like, man, this is a wicked Star Wars. This could be an awesome Star Wars movie about not so much the origin of Han Solo, but the origin of the Millennium Falcon. Like, it should have ended with Lando getting it or something like that and done. But thinking it's a Han Solo movie, it hurts.
Yeah.
Bad. It hurts real bad.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's gonna. I think it'll feel bad too, because to me, it's almost like the one problem I had with Rogue One was, it's a story about how they go get the Death Star plans. Well, I already know the ending. So this one here, we already know the ending of Han's journey. So,
but this one's not
going to be more of like, who does he lose, or what happens to his crew, or something.
Which is better than the Death Star one, because it led directly into them getting Death Star plans. Like, if this movie led directly into them meeting Han Solo on Tatooine, I'd be like, bah. Like,
that's
be dumb.
Too long.
Like, this one's not bad because it's set so far back, but it just seems forced. Han Solo's performance seems really forced. And that's what a lot of people said. Like, when this movie was being made, I can't remember the actor's name that plays Han Solo. They were like,
he looks like an adult baby. It's weird.
When
chubby little pinchy cheeks.
they said his acting was like a caricature of Han Solo, or it was Ace Ventura portraying Han Solo. Like, they said it was so bad. Like,
does he bend over and say, "I've got a bad feeling" out of his butt?
He does.
All right, Chewie, punch it.
Should we punch it in the butthole? Yeah, I don't know about this movie. I'm pretty upset about it.
I think I'm getting burnt out on Star Wars in general lately.
Yeah.
After Last Jedi,
I would say just stick with Rebels, because Rebels actually is supposed to be, they're starting up the last part of their final season this month. So by the time you get to the end of it, you should be all set up for
That's
it.
kind of my last hope that there's Star Wars content for me right now, is Rebels.
Yeah, we've kind of been overblown with too much Star Wars stuff, haven't we?
Too much not good Star Wars stuff.
Bad Star Wars properties. Yeah. I'm still holding out hope that an Obi-Wan movie, Rogue Squadron movie,
I would like to see a Rogue Squadron
Boba
movie.
Fett movie will come out and be good.
I want Boba Fett.
There's
no way that could be good.
There's a way.
Yeah, it's called the original trilogy. That's the way.
Yeah, because they kind of butchered him in Clone Wars.
Yeah, he's a turd in Clone Wars.
All right, well, let's get on to our main topic here. So, remind me, our main topic here was, it's the rumors of Microsoft purchasing EA, Valve, and the company behind PUBG.
Yeah. They've come out on record a couple times this year already and late last year saying they need to put more money and resources into exclusives for the Xbox.
Yeah, first-party titles.
They're getting their butts kicked.
That's one thing I was thinking about yesterday, was getting prepped for this conversation. I'm thinking to myself, let's think about how many first-party titles does Microsoft actually have. I can only name maybe 3.
Well, the funniest thing was, I think it was E3 last year, might have been the year before that, when they did their big show and they had an image out behind them the whole time that had these little cut pieces with a character from all their like major franchises. So it had like Marcus Phoenix, Master Chief, and then it just got weird. It was like Tomb Raider, which is not a Microsoft exclusive.
Yeah.
It had a car from Forza, which is not an identifiable character to run your brand on. And then it had the dude from Fable, and then Fable got canceled right after.
Oh yeah, because they had Fable Legends, and then yeah.
So their big flagship stuff, it was like 2 recognizable properties, and then just garbage after.
Yeah, because for me, when you say what's Xbox first-party titles, I just go Gears of War, Halo, Forza. Everything else, they maybe made a game and then they dropped it, or they never continued it.
Who made Mass Effect?
That was EA.
EA, okay.
It was originally Xbox exclusive, but then it came out on everything. And when they did the trilogy on the PS3, they got the first one there.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I don't think they have an identity with game franchises right now outside of Halo. I think their identity is more their services, which they've been pushing and doing a great job on the last
services
few years.
And hardware, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, hardware definitely, because they've got like the Xbox One, which is doing really well, better than the Pro was when it launched. It's got all of, like the Elite controllers and the design lab for the controllers and
Yeah.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They had the Kinect when initially launched, so I do think you're right. They have a lot of hardware as showcased as well.
Yeah.
That's not exciting to me though.
No.
No.
Like a whole new console is
No.
exciting and games are exciting, and that's it.
No, there was a reason why when I had an Xbox One that I played Halo because I was like, oh, I'm gonna be excited for Halo. It'll be fun and everything. And once I finished going through Halo and started doing the multiplayer stuff, I was like, I'm completely bored of this.
Yeah.
And then went, hang on, Sony, what do you got? Oh, we have all these amazing things plus a bunch of stuff that's exclusive to Sony because they believe in like anime games and stuff. I'm like, I'm going all in on Sony now.
Yeah, I think Microsoft got burnt first 2 generations trying to get those Japanese developers on board, and it just didn't work out like they needed it to.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not pushing that anymore at all, which kind of stinks because, like, the reason I got my 360 was Blue Dragon and Lost Odyssey, which you couldn't get anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome games by Mistwalker Studios, and I wish they had something like that this generation.
Wasn't there a while
Lost
back
Odyssey.
when...
So
It was
good.
supposed to be a trilogy too, wasn't it?
No, it was part of 3 games they were developing, but they weren't connected together.
Oh, I thought there was. I'm gonna have to Google that because I'm pretty sure Lost Odyssey was supposed to have other installments that tied into it directly.
I don't think so. I think they had the 3 games planned, and it was Blue Dragon, Lost Odyssey, and Last Story. I think were the 3, and Last Story ended up coming out on the Wii.
I'm trying to think back to quite a while back when Final Fantasy 13 was coming out. Didn't Microsoft try to push it to be an Xbox exclusive only, and then because there was so much hate behind that, they had to release it on PlayStation?
I don't
Do you
remember
recall that at all?
being an issue. No.
I wasn't paying attention.
Do you remember Microsoft making a push for Final Fantasy 13 being
Yes.
tied to their console?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, because I remember that, and people were like, don't you dare.
Yeah,
This
I
is a
definitely remember
Sony
that.
property. You bring it out on Sony.
Which doesn't make sense because that was originally a Nintendo brand.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I know, but ever since
Definitely has its-
Ever since Final Fantasy 7,
Yeah.
whenever people think Final Fantasy, they think Sony. So,
that's true.
but you're right that they did try to do a lot of, obviously, push to Japanese developers,
they had
and
some
no
Tales
one really
games that
took.
were exclusive there too. Yeah, and like their sales in Japan, like they don't even chart there. Like it's ridiculous how low Microsoft sales are over there.
Yeah,
So I get it. I get why they don't push those style of games, but they still don't have in-house branded games that belong to them, and they seem to just like buy other companies' identities to pull.
well, I
into their
think
own
that's
now.
probably why they're trying to buy PUBG.
Yeah.
Is they're like, oh,
Absolutely.
well, we want this to be our exclusive, so then it's our game. Well, no, not really. You're just buying the flavor of the month.
Yeah, and they did that with Tomb Raider. They had the like 1-year timed exclusive.
Mhm.
I don't think anybody looks at Tomb Raider as a Microsoft game. They look at it as a multi-platform game.
Yeah.
And then they buy like Minecraft, which would be an amazing exclusive to have on their console, but they license it out to everyone to make more money, which I also understand. But I think they would have pushed, tens of millions more sales
Which also,
if they had it just on the Xbox.
I think it was 2 years ago now. Microsoft, where is this HoloLens Minecraft thing? This thing where it was the virtual headset thing, and you could like reach in and pull out the Minecraft.
Remember them
Where is
demoing
that?
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for that.
Never gonna happen.
You think it's scrapped?
Yeah.
They had like physical playable demo on stage at E3. You don't think?
A company
I
that
feel like later this year it was a possibility for that.
a company that shows off characters that aren't theirs as their staple characters for Microsoft, then cancels ones that are on stage. Microsoft, for the last couple of years, hasn't had their things together for their ducks in a row for video games. I think that has now become an afterthought, and they're gonna push forward with other things. So, like this acquisition of, they only really need to acquire one of those studios.
Yeah, and I think
if they acquire
Valve's the least smart one for them if they want to push Xbox as a brand. If they want to do more of their Play Anywhere stuff, then Valve's the smart one.
Yeah.
I don't think Valve brings a lot of first-party properties that
But
they need.
if they get EA though, that means they have
EA's
all the sports
I think the
games.
biggest, smartest one.
If they get EA, it will kind of cripple PlayStation because
That'll be a big
Sports
fight.
I think
games are a huge
they'll
seller
just
on-
cripple the video game market in general because then they're like, oh, we're gonna make every sports game exclusive to Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they'll
and
get
they're
so many
huge
sales
sellers.
just from FIFA and Madden. Like that gives them Europe and North America
Yeah.
like a big leg up.
Yeah.
What's my train of thought again? It had to do with
Valve and I said something about
Valve.
first parties. And you
I
were-
think Valve because Valve has a lot of like Portal, Left 4 Dead, Half-Life. Those 3 games alone, if Microsoft is like, we're gonna release something that's kind of like a Half-Life property.
I think
it will sell like gangbusters.
So long for all of those that Valve is more associated with Steam than it is with those titles anymore.
Yep.
It is, but there's still a huge fan base that wants to see those games come out. So if they do buy Valve and announce, we're going to produce not even Half-Life 3, but just...
At this point, no matter what Half-Life 3 is, though, isn't it just going to be like a Duke Nukem Forever thing where nobody's going to be...
That's why I don't think it will be Half-Life 3.
Well,
it will be based in the Half-Life universe, but not with Gordon.
Well, isn't that why Gabe Newell or somebody came out saying that no matter what, if they were to do Half-Life 3, that because so many people have so many expectations for it, they're never going to meet those expectations, so they don't bother even doing it.
That's why I don't
This is also Valve, who doesn't believe in the number 3.
Yeah. I don't think
we have Portal 1 and 2, no 3. Left 4 Dead 1 and 2, no 3. Half-Life 1 and 2, no 3.
That's why I said I don't think we'll get a Half-Life 3, but we'll get a Half-Life game based in that universe.
But that doesn't buy them that franchise character that they need to put on that banner again.
No, but they could introduce a new character that they're hoping will be their franchise character.
See, I'm with Kelsy and Stacy. Kelsey. Sorry, I'm getting my boss's name mixed up. With Kelsey here, that when I think Valve, I think Steam.
Yeah.
I think Steam as their marketplace for buying computer games and stuff. Because Valve has just been out of not making any games for the last little while that it just doesn't matter anymore.
When I think, maybe because I played those games a lot, like when I think Valve, I think Half-Life. I think Left 4 Dead. I think those games because I put so much time into them. And that's like 1997 is when Half-Life came out. And I bought it when it first came out. And like that really stands out as a game to me. So maybe that's why because you guys were never really big first-person shooter fans, probably back then. So when that game came out, that's why it stands so prevalent in my mind.
If they want to sell more Xboxes, they got to sell them to people who were born in 1997.
True.
Didn't grow up with Half-Life.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, you're saying like the purchase into EA would be the smarter bet. But
yeah, EA is the smartest bet.
I don't know if EA would let them go through with it, though.
They won't have a choice because they're a public company. As long as the offer is high enough, the board has to sell it because it makes the shareholders money.
If they bought Valve, what would happen to Steam?
I think Microsoft would take that over as their distribution online, which I think that would be a really smart move for the Microsoft brand, but not for Xbox as a console.
Yeah.
Because they do have their Play Anywhere stuff already. So if all their Microsoft properties move over onto Steam, and they control almost everyone else's distribution of them, like I don't know if the FCC lets that sale go through because that feels like a monopoly.
Yeah.
But if they can pull that off somehow, I think they own PC gaming.
Yeah, definitely. Which doesn't help, like you said, doesn't help their Xbox brand. I think.
But it possibly
EA
makes
is
Microsoft
better. EA is better for Xbox. Valve is better for Microsoft. PUBG is just whatever. Just a little.
It's an exclusive, and same thing. Like that doesn't
peanuts
have.
on your Sunday.
It kind of has that character with the weird mask that they put on a lot of their promotional stuff.
I wouldn't even say it's a character; it's like an image.
Yeah, but that one, it's the same thing. Like when you're putting out that banner with like your flagship titles.
Yeah.
I don't know if that guy hits home well enough to.
The guy with the welding helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that definitely gets some couple million sales, but I don't know if it continues selling them after that. Like, I don't know how PUBG 2 pushes more sales down the road a few years, kind of thing. Like, I don't know if that one's as smart. I think they got in what they needed right now. They got that timed exclusive while PUBG is really hot, because there's tons of the Battleground style games coming out now. Even Red Dead Redemption 2 just got delayed, and they announced that there's going to be a Battlegrounds mode in it.
Like, it sounds terrible.
That's such a weird game.
Actually, that wouldn't be too bad. It's all Western style.
I don't think it would work.
But like I said, everything's going that way. That's the big flavor of the month right now for probably a few years.
Yep.
So I don't think doubling down on that is going to be smart. There's going to be other options.
Unless they have so much faith in that team that they're buying them, and they're going to be like, hey, make us a game.
You buy Fortnite rather than PUBG
so
at this point.
Yeah, I agree. Because Fortnite looks different.
Yeah.
Like, at least you can make a character out of that. And
but Fortnite is also free.
Yeah, exactly.
While PUBG, you have to pay for it.
They'll figure out a way to monetize it very easily.
With loot boxes.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Loot boxes in
character customization
pay for
stuff.
DLC.
So, do we think... Keep coughing on me.
I'm
do
very
you
happy
think
about
that this is a good thing that like a company like Microsoft can initially just go out and buy two major game developing companies and a third that has the highest selling game currently. Do you think this is a good thing, bad thing?
I think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's good because if they were to buy EA, that's a huge monopoly on tons of sports titles and any other properties that EA owns.
Star Wars.
Which would upset a lot of fans because a lot of people do not like EA. People have branded it that they think it's one of the worst companies right now for video gaming stuff.
For
and
years,
like
right?
I know tons of people who play sports games on their PlayStations. So if they found out all of a sudden, hey, guess what? If you want to play your Madden whatever, you have to buy an Xbox. They're going to be pissed off.
Well, yeah, I know people that bought PlayStations just for sports games.
Yeah.
Like I know quite a few people like
so
that.
if they were going to get a dominance over just the sports titles, that would annoy a lot of people.
They'll still have the 2K games. Like their basketball games doing really well, and they have big baseball games in there too.
But 2K doesn't do any other properties though.
They'd be forced to if those got taken away from them.
I don't know if they can though.
We need hockey, we need baseball, we need soccer.
But I don't know if they can though because I think EA has like a contract with NHL. Like
they
are
do
the
have
only
contracts.
they are the only ones who do NHL games.
With the buyout, they'd have to be renegotiated.
Yeah,
I think.
it'd all have to be.
Yeah.
Same with probably Disney and Star Wars.
Yeah.
I think would probably be pulled.
I'd
from
like
EA.
to see, well, like
It
you were
probably
saying
will
a
be
couple
pulled
weeks
from
ago,
EA.
I'd like to see Star Wars taken away from EA.
I think it will be.
Well, they've probably got a contract, so they've probably got another 8 years worth of Star Wars.
So that's
or
why
something
Disney's
before.
probably crossing their fingers that this rumor goes
Yeah.
through.
Or if they breach the contract in some way.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna say I don't think it's a good idea. I think these rumors eventually will just dwindle and nothing will come of it.
I have a feeling, that's going to happen. They might acquire some smaller companies instead. But
I can see them buying the PUBG company. I can see them doing that.
Yep.
But going all out into EA or into Valve, I don't see that happening.
I think that EA would be a really smart move for the Xbox brand. Not just with those sports games, they'll have a lot. They'll have Mass Effect to themselves. They'll have Mirror's Edge.
Yep.
What else has EA been putting out? Star Wars Battlefront would be a huge one for a while.
Who makes Call of Duty?
Activision.
That's right.
Yeah, so they'll have Battlefield.
Battlefield,
That's the EA one.
one. Yeah,
Battlefield, which is huge
Huge,
selling.
huge.
Yeah.
That'd be a huge one for Xbox to get.
Yeah,
it
'cause-
usually already is though.
Yeah, but with Activision being cross-platform, if they're the only console you can get Battlefield and Call of Duty on,
Yeah.
that brings a ton of players over.
Yeah. Especially sports, like that would probably
that pays
would
for itself
actually-
immediately almost.
that would be a definitive strike in the new console wars.
Yeah,
Like that would
the shot in
kind
the
of
arm.
cripple PlayStation a bit.
The last FIFA game made over $1 billion by itself.
Yeah.
So those you throw your money in, and just a few sports games annually are going to make your investment back pretty quick.
And then like I said, it will shift consoles being bought away from PlayStation towards.
Yeah, and we'll have kind of a three-way run rather than kind of two pulling ahead right now.
Yeah.
I'm not against it. I don't think it would annoy me as much as you because there's not a lot of EA properties I'm a big fan of. But there's going to be growing pains if people who bought their PlayStation to play sports can't get those sports anymore.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be growing pains, but then that's what Microsoft wants. They want you to come over, buy this console if you want to play these games. We've got them here.
Yep.
I think that's smart for them. I don't know if it's going to happen. I know it could happen. They've got the funds to do it easily.
Yeah.
I could see like you're saying, PUBG. I think is a move that might happen. I think that one is probably
that's the
already
most likely of those three. Yeah.
It's probably even in the works right now.
Well, considering they've already brought them over as exclusive to Xbox,
Yeah.
I think, like you said, it's probably already is in the works.
I don't want them to get Valve, just because the monopoly we talked about with Steam and stuff like that. But
Steam already feels like a monopoly itself.
in the same breath, maybe we get the game. Well, maybe I get the games that I've wanted to see.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Half-Life 3 by Microsoft's Valve, but I want to see a game set in that universe with a new.
The Han Solo of Half-Life.
Yeah, exactly. With Wookiees punching buttholes. And the EA one, I think I'm with Kelsey. The EA one doesn't bother me too much with all of EA's missteps. They just need to be managed better.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Microsoft's track record of management might speak for itself.
They cancel a lot of games in the last.
Maybe a lot of games
years.
need to be canceled from EA.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I don't.
I think EA gets more appealing if Microsoft buys
Yeah.
them to me too, because right now they don't put out anything that's of interest. There's nothing on the horizon that EA has announced that I am going to play.
all the UFC games are EA.
Yeah.
It's another one. It's just sports in general. Like I like the FIFA games that they put out to play with a friend. Like a friend will buy them. Be like, hey, you want to come over and play a new FIFA, or a new UFC, or a new whatever? I'm like, yeah, I'll come over. And it's some good hours we can spend together. Or, you know, if we're just killing time, we can play it. Or
You excited for Anthem?
no.
I don't know anyone who's talking about that game.
Yeah, they don't make games that excite me. Like even the last Mass Effect that came out, I was like, Mass Effect's kind of past its time.
Yeah.
Like,
I had a friend who was like, going, oh yeah, the new Mass Effect's gonna be great and everything. I'm like, nah, it's just Mass Effect, and sure enough, it bombed.
yeah, it wasn't a great game.
The remake they did of Mirror's Edge, they ruined a really good thing they had with the original Mirror's Edge too.
Yep. So
They're mostly going for services now rather than like full games. Like these are not games you buy and can play whenever you want. They're games where you have to constantly be online with other people and can keep putting more money in to either get seasons or loot boxes or whatever, like across the board almost now.
yeah,
And that doesn't appeal to me at all. I feel like Microsoft would strike a balance between the two. And if they took over EA, they'd still have lots of those games, but they'd also have more story-driven games too.
So is this similar to Disney buying Fox?
In a way, it's
Because
similar.
that was a lot of people had a lot of strong opinions about that when
Mhm.
it happened.
Because if Microsoft was to buy EA, you could easily picture that as Disney buying Fox, like buying those properties. So that's the reason why the FCC is now have to look at if it's going to be considered a monopoly or not.
Mm-hmm.
To me, in the video game market, if Microsoft was to buy EA, I would consider that buying a monopoly.
I wouldn't go that far. Like if they bought
Valve would
Activision,
be.
Ubisoft, and EA,
Yeah.
then I'd say you're there.
I'd say Valve's a bigger monopoly buy
Yeah.
for Steam.
I agree with that.
I
I think there's enough other big publishers between Sony, Ubisoft, Activision, Nintendo, and a bunch of smaller ones that it wouldn't give Microsoft an unfair advantage. It would just give them a big boost from where they are now.
Oh, I think it would give them a huge advantage on anything sports related.
It would be an advantage, but not an unfair advantage.
Yeah. For now, it would be a shot in the arm, but there would be negotiations, and maybe the wealth of sports titles would be spread out among a bunch of different. Because EA has a monopoly over it right now, essentially. So it'd be nice to see EA lose the reins, and some other people kind of step up and try their hand at it.
Yeah. Like Star Wars.
Oh,
Ugh, can't wait for that day to come.
yeah.
Congratulations, everyone. What's that? So-and-so made Rogue Squadron 4. Yay!
Yay. We got a Rogue
I want
Squadron
Platinum
game.
Games to do a lightsaber fighting game, like action game.
Ooh,
It'd be so
a
fun.
Star Wars Platinum Games?
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
That'd be
Yeah,
fun.
that'd be good.
Go like all... Actually, essentially just take Metal Gear Rising Revengeance.
Yeah,
and just
and
put
throw
Star Wars
lightsabers
over
in
top of it.
Or take like
So instead of
Vanquish
taking out
and make him a bounty hunter.
instead of taking out a Gecko mech, you take out like an AT-AT or something.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, that would
Or
be sweet.
we bring back Force Unleashed and we do it that style.
Yeah, if Platinum took like a Force Unleashed style game, I think I would love that. I don't really care for the Force Unleashed games as they are.
Yeah, I
I think
don't either.
Platinum could do a good game in that vein.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'd like to see another.
Or like you like bounty hunters and stuff. So if you did like, you ever play Vanquish that Platinum did?
No.
You're in like a full mech suit and he's got like rocket jets all over him, so he can like kneel and shoot rockets out of his knees and fly backwards shooting at
That's
guys.
sweet.
And he can lay on the ground and he's got them coming out of his heels and he can shoot at guys. So you can blast everywhere. Like if you did that kind of style game with like a Star Wars bounty hunter theme, it'd be so fun.
Like that Jango Fett game that came out for the PlayStation 2.
Yeah, but good.
Yeah, exactly. I'd love
Good.
another like a Boba Fett game where you can use a jetpack and flamethrower and stuff like that
Yeah.
and go collect bounties. Be
Yeah.
sweet.
It'd be so fun.
Or some sort of new Mandalorian character.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, there's tons of
yeah.
Mandalorian characters to go through.
There's a
Yeah.
bunch, yeah, in Clone Wars and Rebels now.
Even
Yeah.
previous to that, like
Yeah.
they have a pretty rich history in the Star Wars universe that's even canon. So
Mm-hmm.
it'd be cool to see that. Or I'd play a game where you're a different bounty hunter. You're Bosk in one stage.
Bosk.
Bosk's a playable character in Battlefront 2, and he's arguably one of the best characters. Lots of people
Ugh.
really like him.
Gross.
What about
Yeah.
Dangar?
Dangar, I'd play as Dangar. Why not?
Over Bosk, yeah.
Boba Fett. There's tons. IG-88 would be a cool level.
That'd be a neat one.
Yeah. So yeah, bounty hunter game where you could.
Hmm. I think I want this just for the shake up at EA.
Yeah.
Would be my biggest appeal to Microsoft potentially taking them over, because they can't get worse. I don't think. I'm pretty sure they're rock
EA
bottom.
as a general or Microsoft?
EA.
Okay.
I think there's nowhere to go but up. So if they get acquired and they get some new leadership, some new direction, I think it get better no matter how that looks.
Again, my final thought is that I think the purchase of EA will not go through. I think that'll just fizzle out.
I don't think it will either.
I don't think it will on. I don't think it will on Valve, but I do see it happening on PUBG. So that's my final thought.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. If it does happen, it'll be interesting to see where it goes. But
I think Sony just responds by making their own Battlegrounds game and their Battle Royale game.
Yeah. Which is probably in the works, anyways.
Yeah.
Ooh.
They'll probably
show and jump Battlegrounds. Play as any anime character you want against other anime characters.
or even like
it's Sony,
Ratchet
so it'd be
and
like
Clank one, or
the Killzone Battle Royale.
I guess
something
actually
like that.
Killzone needs a chance to come back. So.
I could see them doing like a Ratchet and Clank or a Jack and Daxter Battle Royale that kind of looks like Fortnite.
Goofier and it'd appeal to like 12 to 20 rather than like 25 plus kind of thing.
Yeah. Sly Cooper, you could grapple hook and like slide along a rope or something.
An easy cameo to throw in there.
And then Nintendo. Well, who made Smash TV? Did we get a Smash TV Battle Royale game?
Konami, I feel like.
Yeah.
They're not making games anymore.
Smash TV movie.
Go make movies.
Anywho.
Castlevania show. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, I think that'll do it for this episode. Again, for any viewers, feel free to give us what your thoughts are. If you think Microsoft should go through any purchases. I didn't see any comments this week on any of our previous videos. So,
just give me
there's a couple suggestions on how to improve some like tabletop stuff. So,
gotcha.
But I don't see any views on any of our previous stuff. So
no comments,
Nothing
no
this time.
love.
Next time.
yeah. So. But yeah, feel free to give us your comments on what you think about Microsoft possibly purchasing one of these companies, if you think it's a good move or if it's not a good move. And
who should they acquire if not these three?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What other characters would you see as a flagship title from Microsoft as well?
Yeah, does that exist?
Yeah.
I don't think it does.
All right, I guess that does it.
Punch it.
Punch it.